So next topic your metallization process. This metallization process plays a vital role for our fabrication, and this metallization is required for the connectivity of our different component that are fabricated inside our wafer. It may be your active component or passive component. So this metallization is required for connectivity purpose. So connectivity purpose, and this is basically interconnection, you can say, by using some aluminum conductor. So you can connect individual devices together by using some microscopic wires to form that circuit. So this process of this taking care of this connection from one device to another is called the metallization process. With the metallization, thousands of devices can be interconnected using a fine thin metal layer or metal connections. So there are various requirements for this metallization. This one is low resistivity, that means low ohmic resistance, easy to form, easy to etch for pattern generation, should be oxidized, mechanically stable, smooth surface, should be stable towards high temperature, and should not contain any contaminate any wafers, good lifetime, low contact resistance to device, reliable long term operation. So the possible material for that metallizations are metal having a low resistivity, polysilicon medium resistivity, and highly doped diffused region in silicon just like a medium resistivity. So this table shows basically application and choices, gate and interconnections, polysilicon, carbides, aluminums, and diffusion barrier just nitride, carbides, etc., top level aluminum. So some schematic representation how the metal is used in case of a MOS. This metal is used for your source connectivity, for gate connectivity, and for drain connectivity. So here some advantage of our aluminum are given here. You just go through that. So there are various methods of metallization. One is that physical vapor deposition and evaporation, sputtering, chemical vapor deposition. So in case of your vacuum evaporation, the material to be evaporated is heated in a evacuated chamber as shown in the figure, so that it attains a gaseous state. The vapor of thin material traverse the space from the source to the substrate on which they eventually land. The pressure is maintained below 10 torr, and energy for the vaporization is supplied by resistive heating of a filament as shown in that figure. The substrate holder is also sometimes heated to provide a better adherence to the incident vapor. Some of the vapor is also incident on that chamber walls from where it may condense. Here some remaining vapor gets pumped out of this system, and the metal deposition rate of 0.5 micrometer per minute are desired in a vacuum evaporation process. Now look at the picture where we used some roughing pump that is used to evacuate the chamber, and high vacuum pump is basically used to maintain a high vacuum by reducing the pressure with the help of nitrogen cooled trap, and sputter gas is used to clean the surface of the wafer. So evaporation method basically two types. One is called global, another is called local. In case of your global, the energy is supplied to the entire mass of the source present. The major problem with this global system is that the boat containing the source material also gets evaporated. That will contaminate our deposited film. In case of your local evaporation, basically it employs a laser beam and fine electron beam used for evaporation purpose. In this system, a beam of focused electron is allowed to be incident on the surface content the crucible. The beam causes the source material to melt and vaporize locally at the point of incident of the beam. Here this figure shows that electron beam will strike on that of the crucible that will hold that material, and that evaporation will take place and it will move towards that of substrate. This is shown in the figure. So next process is our sputtering method. The sputtering method basically depends on that momentum exchange between ions and atoms in the material due to collision. This is the basic principle for sputtering process. So in this method, when a DC supply is applied across the two cooled electrode, the breakdown of the inert gas takes place. At a sufficiently low electric field, a very small current will flow due to the electron already present due to some photo emission process. So in this process, the movement of this electron will result in collision with that of our argon gas and electrons, again argon plus and electrons are produced and are also accelerated in opposite direction. This electron will again knock out, and hence there will be some multiplication process. At sufficiently high voltage, some of these argon ions can eject secondary electron from the cathode, and thus some addition to the supply of electron, which contribute to the avalanche multiplication process and can lead to the gaseous breakdown. But the current is limited by some external resistance, as shown in the figure. That resistance is denoted by that R. So for this condition, the argon ions bombard the cathode, resulting in a sputtering of its surface material by momentum transfer. Hence the sputter deposition of the material which constitute the cathode occur on the substrate placed on the anode. So the placement of anode, cathode, so the target and wafer is shown in the figure, and this some gaseous injection valve is also shown in the figure, and power supply is used here, and there are some advantages and disadvantages. Just go through that process. That's all. Thank you.